Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to 90 Day Fiancé latest news. After months of tension, social media hints, and cryptic messages, the rumors have finally been confirmed. Rob Warren and Sophie Sierra from 90 Day Fiancé are officially heading for divorce. Fans who followed their roller coaster relationship from the very beginning may not be surprised, but the details behind their split are still shocking. Rob and Sophie's relationship had red flags from the start. The couple first appeared in Season 10 of 90 Day Fiancé, where viewers got an inside look at the strain of their long-distance love and cultural differences. Rob, from the US, and Sophie, a British model and influencer, had issues that extended beyond geography. Communication struggles, trust issues, and lifestyle disagreements seemed to dominate their storyline. One of the biggest cracks in their relationship was the lack of trust. Sophie openly expressed concerns about Rob's behavior on social media, accusing him of being secretive and emotionally unavailable. Rob, in return, often dismissed her concerns, leading to arguments that were both explosive and emotionally draining. In several episodes, Sophie was seen questioning whether Rob was truly ready for a committed relationship, while Rob accused Sophie of being too critical and controlling. Fans remember the now infamous scene where Sophie confronted Rob about messages she allegedly found on his phone. The tension was palpable, and Rob's vague responses only added fuel to the fire. Trust, once broken, proved nearly impossible to rebuild. But while the show documented many of their struggles, it's what happened off camera that truly sealed the fate of their relationship. In recent months, both Rob and Sophie have taken to Instagram with not-so-subtle posts. Sophie was first to drop hints, sharing cryptic quotes about choosing peace over people and knowing when to walk away. She was also noticeably absent from Rob's feed, and fans picked up on the missing couple selfies that once dominated their pages. Then came a bombshell. Rob posted a video in which he indirectly responded to Sophie's online behavior. He didn't name names, but he talked about betrayal, feeling used, and said he was done trying to make things work when the other person is halfway out the door. Shortly after, Sophie confirmed the news fans had been speculating about. They had separated and were preparing for divorce. What shocked fans the most wasn't just the announcement of their split, but the allegations Sophie made in a now-deleted Instagram story. She hinted at emotional manipulation, claiming she had lost herself trying to keep the relationship alive. Though she didn't accuse Rob of anything criminal, her words painted a picture of a toxic environment where she felt silenced and dismissed. Rob, on the other hand, denied any wrongdoing and claimed that he had given everything to the relationship. In a TikTok live, he said, "I was trying to build something real, but she kept one foot in the door and one foot out. You can't build a future with someone who's always ready to leave." Friends of the couple have also started speaking out. One anonymous source close to Sophie said that the relationship was over long before they officially announced it, and that Sophie had been living separately for weeks. Another source who claimed to know Rob said he had been shocked by the divorce filing and believed they were just going through a rough patch. As for legal proceedings, Sophie reportedly filed for divorce in California, where the couple had been living. While no court documents have been released to the public yet, insiders suggest that things may get messy. Sources say there's a dispute over some of the influencer deals and brand partnerships they secured while still together, contracts that were signed jointly, which may complicate the financial side of their separation. Despite all the drama, both Rob and Sophie have asked fans to respect their privacy. In a final joint statement shared on their stories, they wrote, "We loved each other deeply, but sometimes love isn't enough. We are taking time to heal and move forward separately. Please be kind." Only time will tell what's next for Rob and Sophie. But one thing's clear, their 90-day fiancé journey may be over, but the emotional aftermath is still unfolding. It's official. The love story between Rob Warren and Sophie Sierra has come to an end, and the news is sending shockwaves through the 90 Day Fiancé community. After months of speculation, subtle jabs online, and growing distance between the pair, their split is now confirmed. But what really happened behind the scenes? Rob and Sophie were once a fan-favorite couple when they first appeared on the show. Their chemistry was undeniable. Sophie's free-spirited energy mixed with Rob's laid-back charm made for a compelling watch. But viewers also noticed early signs of trouble, with tension brewing under the surface. One recurring issue was their different expectations. Sophie wanted emotional security, a stable lifestyle, and long-term commitment. Rob, however, often seemed overwhelmed by the responsibilities of a serious relationship. The couple clashed on everything from living conditions to communication styles. Things took a turn when Sophie started expressing dissatisfaction publicly. She posted several videos where she seemed drained and disappointed. Her fans quickly speculated that things were rocky with Rob. At the same time, Rob began distancing himself from social media, fueling even more rumors. The tension reached a boiling point when Sophie reportedly moved out of the home they shared. According to inside sources, the final straw was a heated argument over trust and finances. Sophie had been growing increasingly frustrated with what she called emotional neglect and constant avoidance. She wanted honesty. She wanted effort. But instead, she felt alone, even while in the same room with Rob. Meanwhile, Rob's friends claim he felt blindsided. He thought they were just hitting a rough patch. She always ran at the first sign of trouble, one of Rob's close friends told an online tabloid. He tried, but she checked out months ago. What followed was a public unraveling of their relationship. Sophie unfollowed Rob on all platforms. Rob deleted every photo with Sophie. Fans noticed, and speculation exploded across Reddit and fan forums. Then came the confirmation. A representative close to the couple finally told reporters that the pair were in the process of legally separating. That statement was quickly followed by Sophie's emotional video, where she shared her truth. In the video, Sophie didn't throw blame, but she didn't hold back either. "I stayed longer than I should have," she admitted. "I believe things would change, that we'd grow. But sometimes love just isn't enough." Rob later responded with a subtle Instagram story, showing him walking alone on a beach with the caption, "Sometimes peace comes at the cost of people." The message was clear. They were done. Fans are divided. Some believe Sophie deserved better, citing Rob's alleged lack of effort and emotional support. Others feel Rob was doing his best, and Sophie was too quick to walk away. Either way, the love story that once captivated audiences has now closed its chapter. There are also rumors that the couple had filmed additional scenes that never aired, footage that allegedly showed even more intense disagreements and emotional breakdowns. TLC has declined to comment on whether this unseen content will be included in any future specials or tell-all episodes. At the moment, Sophie is focusing on self-care and has been spotted spending time with friends in Los Angeles. She's also launched a mental health awareness campaign, which many believe is inspired by her own healing journey. Rob, on the other hand, has remained relatively low-key, only posting scenic pictures and short motivational quotes, though their journey together has ended. Both Rob and Sophie are stepping into new phases of their lives. And while fans may be heartbroken, one thing is clear: their story will continue to resonate with viewers who saw themselves in their struggles, their hope, and ultimately, their heartbreak. Rob Warren is fielding criticism about his appearance alongside estranged wife Sophie Sierra in 90 Day, The Last Resort Season 2. Rob and Sophie have a tumultuous history, first appearing in 90 Day Fiancé Season 10 and later 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After Season 8. Their long-distance romance changed once Sophie moved to America to live with Rob. They clashed over their living conditions and trust issues, but they still married before the end of the 90 days. Sophie moved out soon after marrying Rob because the toxic relationship was harming her mental health. After spending a season on the brink of divorce, Rob and Sophie called it quits at the end of Happily Ever After. It therefore raised questions when the couple returned to The Last Resort, where the goal is to repair broken relationships. With Rob having already given up on his marriage, the decision to return to television again sparked accusations of clout chasing and fame-seeking. Rob and Sophie's marriage was broken from the start. The couple's toxic dynamic surfaced as soon as they were together in person. Sophie was critical of Rob's living situation, and instead of helping her feel comfortable in his space, he balked at Sophie's requests. Rob constantly accused Sophie of being spoiled, which created a nasty dynamic between them. The relationship was also tarnished by a lack of trust. Rob had inappropriate interactions with other women online, which devastated Sophie. She never truly moved on. Sophie sank into a depression and couldn't get out of it. Rob was little help and was actually turned off by Sophie's condition. Even as they tried to move past the indiscretion, they never fully regained trust. Rob and Sophie's attempts to repair their marriage on 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After, only created further frustration. Rob was irritated by interference from Sophie's mother and friend, who offered her the support she wasn't getting at home. They each kept secrets from each other, Rob relating to his communication with other women, and Sophie relating to her bisexuality. Rob and Sophie seemed happier apart, which they recognized by the end of the season. They admitted they brought out the worst in each other, which seemed to solidify their breakup. Rob defended his decision to appear on 90 Day, The Last Resort, in his Instagram stories. He claimed that being married always meant the world to him. He wanted to take advantage of the opportunity to give it that much more, in hopes of working our marriage out. Despite having publicly ended his marriage and moved on with a new alleged girlfriend, Rob insists he's still open to reconciling with Sophie. Rob explained that his finances improved between filming 90 Day Fiancé and Happily Ever after finding a new job and fewer travel expenses. He wanted to dispute accusations that he was desperate for money. While money may not be his motivation for returning to the franchise, he may have other reasons for wanting to remain on screen. Rob's attention-seeking tendencies suggest his main reason for joining 90 Day, The Last Resort, isn't saving his marriage. Rob constantly needed reassurance from Sophie during their relationship. Once he began appearing on television, he likely started to crave the same attention from audiences. Rob seems to have built his identity around 90 Day Fiancé. He created a 90 Day Bad Boys group with fellow franchise alums that has gained over 50K followers. Reality TV writer Shabuti claims Rob is slated to appear in yet another 90 Day spin-off, which will feature singles from the franchise sharing a house in Mexico. Sophie Sierra from 90 Day, The Last Resort, has announced she is moving back after giving fans a big green card update after celebrating major career success in America. Sophie grew up in Marbella, Spain, but moved to the UK when she grew up. Sophie met Rob from Los Angeles on Instagram and visited him briefly before moving there. Sophie was not a fan of Rob's apartment, which didn't even have a bathroom inside it. The couple left for Austin, Texas, after they got married. Once Sophie and Rob split, fans speculated if she would go back to England. Sophie recently took to Instagram to share a big decision she's recently made with her followers. Sophie reposted a video showing the city of Los Angeles on her stories. In her caption, Sophie wrote that she was moving back. Sophie added, "Moving back to my favorite place, so excited." Sophie confirmed that she was going back to Los Angeles. She had been flying back and forth from the city since her split. Rob moved to Los Angeles a while ago, but she had made Texas her home for almost 2 years. Sophie left Rob sometime in May 2023. They were separated for several months when Rob and Sophie decided to film 90 Day, The Last Resort, and seek couples therapy to save their marriage. When she left Rob, Sophie was worried about having to go back to England. She may have avoided getting a divorce from Rob for the same reason. However, as revealed during the tell-all, the recommitment ceremony was not the end of Rob and Sophie's marriage. Reality TV is more popular than ever. With so many to choose from, here are some of the best reality TV shows to stream or watch right now. Rob and Sophie revealed that they had been intimate even after Sophie decided not to continue their marriage. Could it be that Sophie decided to reconcile with Rob a year after filming the show? Sophie was recently linked to Pedro Jimeno, Chantel Everett's ex-husband. Although they never tagged each other on social media, Sophie had flown to Atlanta to meet a mystery man who was showering her with gifts. The man later showed up in Austin to take Sophie out on a date. Sophie and Pedro went to exactly the same places as revealed in their Instagram stories, but tried to keep things private. It's possible that things between Sophie and Pedro didn't work out since 90 Day, The Last Resort. Sophie could have considered moving to Atlanta instead of Los Angeles. Pedro has a thriving real estate career in Georgia, and it's doubtful that he would move to Los Angeles. Sophie recently confirmed that she has her green card and would only go back to the UK if she wanted kids. It remains to be seen if it's Rob that Sophie is returning to LA for. 90 Day, The Last Resort star Rob Warren apologized for his scandalous behavior at the tell-all, where he hurt the sentiments of his fans while calling out Jasmine Pineda for trying to finesse Gino Palazzolo. Rob has been in hot water because even though he was standing up for friend Gino, he was badmouthing a pregnant woman with health issues. Jasmine tried to attack Rob with a shoe, But Rob is being questioned about his criminal past and abuse allegations by Sophie Sierra. Sophie had caught Rob online cheating, and he's accusing Jasmine of being a cheater now. Said he was sorry for being disrespectful towards them when he mocked Jasmine's accent. However, he did say that it wasn't her accent that had triggered him, it was her smug response that he was trying to imitate. And her accent just came with it, Rob continued. He also mentioned that he doesn't need people to tell him it was funny or not to apologize, since he didn't want fans to feel he would disrespect a culture intentionally. Rob claimed he was able to pull off the accent at all because he spends so much time around Latino people. He admitted that he knows a lot is going on, and he is in the hot seat for plenty of things. However, if there's one thing he wanted to apologize for, it was this, since he realized it wasn't cool. As a side note, Rob also mentioned that he wasn't gay and asked fans to stop asking him because he would only end up blocking them. Rob has not apologized to Jasmine directly, but instead, to his fans who seem to have expressed disgust at what he did on the tell-all set. Rob has been slammed for projecting onto Jasmine because his own marriage had been on the rocks due to his online cheating. Sophie never trusted Rob, even when she married him. When she found proof he'd lied about the extent of his cheating, she left him. However, Rob is pretending like fans haven't watched him and Sophie on TV. He claimed that Jasmine was cheating on Gino even before they started filming The Last Resort. Rob now wants to save whatever reputation is left of him in the franchise. He was out of place to curse Jasmine. He should have let Gino stand up for himself and tell the truth about how Jasmine betrayed him. Instead, Gino wanted Rob as his lawyer, and Rob is now facing the heat. However, even Jasmine was not in the right when she threw a shoe at Rob and tried to make it look like he should be ashamed of being an adult content creator in his past when it was her current job and major source of income. Rob did not get personal with Jasmine. He only called her out for things that had been a part of her storyline on 90 Day, The Last Resort. Jasmine was not doing the right thing by sharing Rob's private photos online. Rob should have stopped himself from using derogatory language towards the pregnant woman and later commenting on her baby. He could be afraid that Jasmine accusing him of bullying might hamper his chances of returning to the franchise, and hence, he wants to do everything he can to not be labeled as a villain, thanks to Gino and Jasmine. 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After? Star Sophie Sierra revealed if she is dating now after Rob Warren's latest co-star girlfriend was revealed. Sophie and Rob began dating after meeting on Instagram. Sophie was the first one to message Rob after coming across his profile on a page about mixed-race men. They were both keeping secrets from each other. Sophie is bisexual and Rob had cheated on her online with multiple women. Their marriage started falling apart when Rob and Sophie discovered these secrets. As a result, they joined the cast of 90 Day, The Last Resort Season 2. Sophie recently went on a dinner date in Los Angeles. She later revealed it was with one of her dogs. Sophie is now confirming that she is single by reposting an Instagram reel from @LositWithNet. It showed an influencer taking a leisurely walk in a video, with a caption saying that she's been going 6 times a week to the gym, going on daily outdoor walks, journaling, eating high protein, and is in her staying celibate era. Sophie confirmed that she is likely not only single but also not dating at the moment. Sophie gave Rob multiple chances to redeem himself after she found him cheating. She even flew to the US to marry him, leaving behind her comfortable life in London after she caught him being unfaithful. Sophie saw Rob chatting with some women on Snapchat where he was receiving disgusting videos from them, but she went ahead and married him. She decided to end it all when she went through Rob's phone and saw it wasn't just one woman he'd cheated on Sophie with the first time. There were several. Sophie moved out of Rob's Texas apartment, but she couldn't get herself to leave him for good. When Rob broke up with Sophie, she broke down crying. The truth is that Sophie is in love with Rob but wanted to teach him a lesson by dumping him. Sophie's fault was that she acted like they were boyfriend and girlfriend, not husband and wife. Moreover, Sophie didn't want Rob to divorce her because she'd built a life in the US and made good friends. She didn't want to go back to England. Sophie and Rob decided to stay friends after filming The Last Resort in April 2024. They were even spotted spending time together at Disneyland in June, where it looked like they were back together. However, 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After? Star Rob was cast in a new show which was filmed in Mexico in October, and he met Jennifer there. It appears Rob and Jennifer are an item now, with Sophie not being happy with Rob's decision. Sophie could be giving Rob signs she is still single, and he could always come back to her if he wanted to.